This video is about famous Hollywood celebrities and people who passed away in 1977 from August to December in the United States. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Elvis Presley. He was born in January 1935 and he died in August 1977. His age was 42 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, transformed music with his electrifying performances and genre-defining sound. His cultural impact endures decades after his untimely death at 42. Charlie Chaplin. He was born in April 1889 and he died in December 1977. His age was 88 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stroke. Charlie Chaplin was one of the most iconic figures in film history, known for his Little Tramp character, a pioneer force in silent film. He blended comedy and pathos with social commentary. His influence on global cinema remains unmatched. Grouch Marx. He was born in October 1890 and he died in August 1977. His age was 86 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pneumonia. Grouch Marx, with his sharp wit and iconic mustache, was a comedic genius whose influence spanned vaudeville, film, and television, captivating audiences for decades. Jean Hagen. She was born in August 1923 and she died in August 1977. Her age was 54 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was throat cancer. Jean Hagen's memorable performances, especially as the comedic Lena Lamont, showcased her versatility and left a lasting impression on Hollywood's golden age. Sebastian Caton. He was born in July 1918 and he died in August 1977. His age was 59 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stroke. Sebastian Caton charmed audiences as the quintessential English gentleman on screen and lent his distinctive voice to beloved Disney classics. Florence Vidor. She was born in July 1895 and she died in November 1977. Her age was 82 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Florence Vidor was a leading lady of silent films in the 1920s, praised for her refined beauty and acting skills. She retired at the peak of her career after the transition to sound films. Gertude Aster. She was born in November 1887 and she died in November 1977. Her age was 90 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Gertude Aster was a prolific actress in the silent film era, appearing in over 250 films. Known for her comedic timing and versatility, she continued working in smaller roles into the sound era. Bing Crosby. He was born in May 1903 and he died in October 1977. His age was 74 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Bing Crosby was one of the most influential music artists of the 20th century, known for his smooth voice and relaxed style. He was a major star in both music and film and won an Academy Award for Best Actor. Richard Carlson. He was born in April 1912 and he died in November 1977. His age was 65 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cerebral hemorrhage. Richard Carlson was a prominent actor in 1950s sci-fi films. He also wrote and directed television episodes and brought intellectual depth to genre roles during Hollywood's golden age. Dorothy Davenport. She was born in March 1895 and she died in October 1977. Her age was 82 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Dorothy Davenport was a silent film actress and later a pioneer female director and screenwriter. She became known for tackling social issues like drug addiction in her films. Leila Hyans. She was born in May 1905 and she died in December 1977. Her age was 72 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Leila Hyans was a celebrated film actress of the 1930s, often remembered for her roles in classic horror films. Her charm and screen presence made her a favorite among early talkie audiences. Ethel Waters. She was born in October 1896 and she died in September 1977. Her age was 80 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was cancer. Ethel Waters broke racial barriers in music and film with her powerful voice and commanding screen presence. She was one of the first black women to earn mainstream success in entertainment. Stephen Dunn. He was born in January 1918 and he died in September 1977. His age was 59 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Stephen Dunn worked across film, television, and radio, often portraying charming, urban characters. His voice and charisma made him a familiar face in mid-century American media. Zero Mosel. He was born in February 1915 and he died in September 1977. His age was 62 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was aortic aneurysm. Zero Mosel was a larger-than-life comedic actor, known for his energetic stage presence and memorable roles in Broadway and film. His legacy includes landmark performances and political resilience. Tay Garnet. He was born in June 1894 and he died in October 1977. His age was 83 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was leukemia. Tay Garnet was a prominent Hollywood director, best known for classic noir and adventure films. His career began in the silent film era and extended through the golden age of cinema. Howard Hawks. He was born in May 1896 and he died in December 1977. His age was 81 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stroke and complications from a fall. Howard Hawks was a legendary filmmaker known for his mastery of multiple genres: comedy, western, noir, and adventure. His crisp dialogue and strong characters left a lasting legacy in classic Hollywood cinema. Delmar Daves. He was born in July 1904 and he died in August 1977. His age was 73 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. Delmar Daves was a visionary director who brought psychological depth to westerns and romantic dramas, leaving an indelible mark on mid-20th century cinema. Robert McKimson. He was born in October 1910 and he died in September 1977. His age was 66 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Robert McKimson was a key figure in the golden age of American animation. As a Warner Brothers animator and director, he created iconic characters and directed many beloved cartoon shorts. Maria Callas. She was born in December 1923 and she died in September 1977. Her age was 53 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was heart attack. Maria Callas was a legendary soprano whose dramatic flair and vocal range redefined opera. Revered for her artistry and emotion, she remains one of the most iconic voices in music history. Leopold Stokowski. He was born in April 1882 and he died in September 1977. His age was 95 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Leopold Stokowski revolutionized classical music presentation and brought it to a wider audience. His bold interpretations and flair made him a 20th century music icon. Mary Foote, she was born in July 1924 and she died in September 1977. Her age was 53 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was diabetes complications. Mary Foote, one half of the legendary duo the Les Paul, revolutionized pop music with her layered harmonies and innovative recordings. Her voice defined a generation of early American pop hits. Jan Gaba, he was born in November 1894 and he died in October 1977. His age was 82 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pneumonia. Jan Garber was a renowned big band leader whose smooth dance music made him a household name during the 1920s and 40s. His orchestra was a staple of the swing and sweet music era. McKinley Cantor, he was born in February 1904 and he died in October 1977. His age was 73 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. McKinley Cantor was a Pulitzer Prize-winning American author known for his historical novels and Civil War-era fiction. His novel, Andersonville, received critical acclaim for its raw portrayal of a Confederate prison camp. Ronny Vanzant, he was born in January 1948 and he died in October 1977. His age was 29 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was plane crash. Ronny Vanzant was the founding lead singer of the Southern rock band Lynyrd Skynyrd. He became an icon of the Southern rock with hits like Sweet Home Alabama before his life was tragically cut short in a plane crash. Cassie Gains, she was born in January 1948 and she died in October 1977. Her age was 29 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was plane crash. Cassie Gains was a talented singer and member of the female backup group The Honketies of Lynyrd Skynyrd. She was admired for her voice and presence on stage. Her life ended tragically in the band's infamous plane crash. Steve Gaines, he was born in September 1949 and he died in October 1977. His age was 28 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was plane crash. Steve Gaines joined Lynyrd Skynyrd shortly before the fatal crash that claimed his life. Despite his short tenure, his guitar work and songwriting left a lasting mark on the band's legacy. James M. Cain, he was born in July 1892 and he died in October 1977. His age was 85 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. James M. Cain was a pioneering American crime novelist known for his hard-boiled style and twisted narratives. His works were often adapted into classic noir films and remain staples for the genre. Guy Lombardo, he was born in June 1902 and he died in November 1977. His age was 75 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Guy Lombardo was a legendary band leader whose orchestra became synonymous with New York's Eve celebrations. Known for his smooth dance music, he led the Royal Canadians for decades. Joseph William Woodra, he was born in August 1873 and he died in October 1977. His age was 104 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Joseph William Woodra was one of the longest-serving federal judges in the United States history. Appointed by President Hoover, his legal career spanned decades and helped shape American jurisprudence. Razan Roland Kirk, he was born in August 1935 and he died in December 1977. His age was 42 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stroke. Razan Roland Kirk was a visionary jazz musician known for his ability to play multiple wind instruments simultaneously. Blind from a young age, He brought unmatched creativity and soul to his performances, blending jazz, soul, and classical music in a genre-defying career. Peter Carl Goldmark. He was born in December 1906 and he died in December 1977. His age was 71 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was traffic accident. Peter Goldmark was a pioneering engineer who revolutionized music with the invention of the LP record. He also made strides in color television and information storage, helping shape modern multimedia. Ethel Roosevelt Darby. She was born in August 1891 and she died in December 1977. Her age was 86 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Ethel Roosevelt Darby dedicated her life to nursing and public service, particularly during the First World War. As the daughter of the Theodore Roosevelt, she balanced public expectations with a quiet, impactful legacy of humanitarian work. Danny Green. He was born in November 1933 and he died in October 1977. His age was 43 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was assassination. Danny Green was a controversial and flamboyant figure in organized crime, known for his role in the Cleveland mob wars. His high-profile murder marked the peak of underworld violence in the city. Joe Greenstein. He was born in January 1893 and he died in October 1977. His age was 84 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Joe Greenstein, also known as the Mighty Atom, amazed audiences with his extraordinary feats of strength and legend in the strongman community. He defied the limits of human capability and inspired generations. Wilfred Kiting. He was born in August 1893 and he died in December 1977. His age was 84 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Wilfred Kiting was the 7th General of the Salvation Army and served during a period of global outreach and modernization. His leadership helped expand the organization's spiritual and charitable missions worldwide. Nellie Taylor Ross. She was born in November 1876 and she died in December 1977. Her age was 101 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Nellie Taylor Ross was the first woman to serve as the United States Governor of Wyoming and later became Director of the United States Mint, a trailblazer in women's political leadership. She championed financial reform and women's rights throughout her career. Milt Schwartz. He was born in January 1916 and he died in October 1977. His age was 61 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Milt Schwartz was a talented jazz and pop pianist who worked with many big names in the music industry. His skills as an arranger and accompanist made him a sought-after figure in studio recordings. Sham Lola. He was born in August 1924 and he died in September 1977. His age was 53 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Sham Lola was a standout defensive catcher and reliable hitter in Major League Baseball, best known for his tenure with the Chicago White Sox. He was a 9-time All-Star and 3-time Gold Glove winner. Ernie Lombardi. He was born in April 1908 and he died in September 1977. His age was 69 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Ernie Lombardi, nicknamed the Snoss, was a Hall of Fame catcher with a remarkable batting average. Despite his slow speed, he was one of the best hitters of his era and a fan favorite. Bucky Harris. He was born in November 1896 and he died in November 1977. His age was 81 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was Parkinson's disease. Bucky Harris was a Hall of Fame baseball player and manager who led the Washington Senators to a World Series win in 1924. Known as the Boy Wonder, he was one of the youngest managers to ever win a championship. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.